Now we should be good. So, got CPU tournament number 10, and I believe we could also do number 11 today if I have time, so I'm gonna try to do as much as I can, basically. So for characters, we've got Ganondorf, Ludwig, Pokemon Trainer, got Inkling, Mega Man, Dr. Mario, Sheik, Link, Ryu, Ness, Simon, Rosalina, and Luma, Zero Suit Samus, Pichu, Ken, and Sonic. Let me shuffle it a few times. And I believe this should be good now. Yeah, that should be fine. So, go ahead and start this. I just wanted to shuffle it a completely random amount of times. Round one. Now we've got Ken versus Rosalina and Luma, and we are not going to skip this battle. Ken starting out with the Hadouken. I believe that was command input. Rosalina and Luma playing very aggressive at the beginning though. Up smash coming up from Rosalina and Luma. Not going to kill, but it's going to get pretty close to killing actually. If it would have been on the platform, then it would have killed. Jabbing the Shoryuken from Ken. Not going to be enough to kill or anything, but decent amount of damage. And I say that because Ken can kill Ganondorf at 60, I believe now, with a combo. I believe that's the correct percent, and it adds in Shoryuken. So Rosalina and Luma, obviously being much lighter characters, could die much faster to Shoryuken, especially with Ken with Rage, but Ken's going to lose his, well, and his Rage there to forward smash, so. I'm just coming out from Rosalina and Luma. Up smash going to be enough to actually result in Ken dying, because I believe Rosalina and Luma hit him with the forward air, so trade didn't really work out for Ken at all. But yeah, Rosalina and Luma with a 2-stock lead at 103.5%. He had 2 down tilts, tries to land a side special, but doesn't connect. Back air from Ken, not going to be enough to kill. Definitely send her to the blast zone though. I believe she still has her first Luma. I don't think Ken's messed with the Luma at all. I believe that was back air from Ken, not going to be enough to kill there either. Yeah, Rosalina and Luma are doing a pretty good job of staying alive on this first stock. Ken's got a long time before he can hope to get a comeback started. This is definitely not looking that solid for him. He's at 84.8% and he can't make it back to stage, so that is going to be the game. We have Rosalina and Luma with a 3-stock. Probably should have muted my mic there for drinking water, sorry if you could hear that, but the next characters are going to be Link and Mega Man. Or Rockman, but we'll just go with Mega Man.
3, 2, 1, go!
So I'm going to be on Final Destination. I don't know if Link set off the bomb there or if Mega Man set off the bomb. Almost lands the dash attack out of the nair. Charged up forward smash with Mega Man's pellet is going to be able to connect to Link there and interrupt it. Although it would have been a very easy stock for Link to take had he not been charging the forward smash. And instead charge like up smash or something. Or I mean, I guess maybe up smash wouldn't kill because Mega Man is pretty heavy. Gonna be caught in those up airs, but he does escape. Back air coming up from Mega Man. Gets the Crash Bomber on Link's stomach, although Link kind of rolled out of the way of most of the explosion. I think he got hit by like the final hit. Mega Man goes for the downer, Link air dodged it, and then naired, and it was enough to kill Mega Man there. And that's enough to kill Mega Man as well, so Mega Man losing a stock at 0, because he did not tech the wall there at stage fight. Not something you want to happen against a character who is as strong as Link against Mega Man, especially because Link has the shield, so he can kind of just stand still to avoid most of what Mega Man can throw out at him. Although, he did take the stock there while I was talking, but it's going to hit Link with a few of these up airs, so we could see a comeback. Link trying to zone out Mega Man, but Mega Man's projectiles don't really care about Link's boomerangs or his bombs or pretty much anything Link's throwing out, so Link going to be hit by the forward smash because he did not shield and instead try to run away from it. Going to get hit by the bomb there and then comboed into an up smash from Link. That could be the stock, but Link does try to avoid Mega Man as he keeps going for this down air, but Link's been avoiding it all this time. Then one time he doesn't go for down air, Link recovers pretty low at the ledge, so that could have been his shot there. Gonna get saved by Rush, and that back air is going to be enough to take the stock. So we're both on final stocks now. Or I guess they're both on final stock. I'm not playing, but yeah, they're both on their final stock. It's going to be misinput, I believe, from Link there, going to result in him getting Shoryuken by Mega Man. That's the kit, or that's like the power he picked up from Kid and Ryu and that what was it, Mega Man Cross Street Fighter, I believe it's the name of the game. He actually picked up Hadouken if I remember correctly, but Shoryuken's not a bad move, in this game at least. I believe in Mega Man that would actually be a pretty terrible move, but Hadouken would be much better. Those up airs from Mega Man, not going to kill Link, but definitely putting him into a bad spot. He's trying to nair out of them, which is somehow like canceling all of the knockback and just leaving the win boxes. Link at a really bad spot here. Mega Man could just down air. So could Link as well, if he were to get Mega Man in a similar scenario. It's going to be another back air from Link, though it's not going to connect both hits, and a parry to down smash from Mega Man is going to get the reverse 3 stock. So yeah, that music was pretty fitting. Now we've got Dr. Mario versus Simon Belmont, which not the best matchup for Doc, but he can reflect Simon's projectiles with Cape. B1-2. He's got pills to approach, although a lot of Simon's projectiles can just cancel out the pills as well as his whip, so he can just hit them away. Use the cape to reflect Holy Water there. I would have used the cape to reflect Side Special, pretty much, as you don't want Simon to have access to stage control, as that's when he really starts to mess up his opponents, basically. Like, if he throws out Side Special, that's like a whole lot of the stage that he covers with the projectile that moves back and forward, and it's pretty slow. And it's actually pretty large for a projectile. Like, if it was smaller, it'd be a little bit worse for Simon, but he just get an enormous amount of stage control with it. Can't really challenge it unless you've got a reflector, so then Simon can kind of just wander on his own. But Dr. Mario definitely taking advantage of Simon's weaknesses here. Does have the lead. Keeps landing these down specials, but gonna get hit by the axe there. Dr. Mario's now off stage. They both have a pretty, I guess, terrible recovery, although I would say Doc's is a little bit worse. But yeah, down special there is going to be enough to kill Simon. lands a forward air into a down special, which is actually going to send a decent knockback for only doing 3%. I got Shaman in the background, now in his Sky form, I believe, if that's correct. I haven't been corrected on that, so... It's going to be a dash attack and a side special hit from Simon. Or I'm not really sure if that side special connected, but I would assume it did. And the axe is going to take the stock. Another side special hit for Simon, and he trades with the forward smash from Simon using his dash attack, which probably, I guess he should have jumped, because he really couldn't have attacked Simon while he's charging up forward smash from that range at least. And it's going to land a dash grab there. Though he did just air dodge off stage, which is going to result in his death. I believe if he did like a neutral air dodge, he can survive. Maybe, but if he does any sort of directional air dodge and he misses a ledge, then he will not be making it back to stage. I'm going to try to nair Simon off stage, although Simon had already grabbed ledge. It's going to be a Holy Water into dash grab from Simon. Dr. Mario definitely needs to take this stock pretty soon if he's going to get any sort of comeback, as Simon can definitely edgeguard Doc pretty difficultly. You got side special to cover most of his horizontal options, and then forward air is going to take Doc's stock though. So Simon does move on. And we can see him whip infinitely in the background. Like, he just doesn't stop doing this if you leave it alone. And Dr. Mario will also clap infinitely, but yeah, this just goes on forever, so I'm going to go to the next screen. Although it stops whenever you go to that. You can still hear it in the background, so that's kind of strange. So now we have Ganondorf versus Inkling, and Ganondorf did win the last CPU tournament, so... This isn't a very solid matchup for him, obviously. Inkling's got a lot of tools that will mess up Ganon. You got Roller, you got the jab, which does like 50% for some reason. And obviously Inkling has a pretty solid edge guard against Ganondorf with back air, down special. A lot of that stuff can cover Dark Dive pretty well, and also his Flame Choke, but Ganondorf can definitely get a lot of percent very quickly and is able to up smash here. This stage is definitely advantageous to Ganondorf, as it is a pretty small stage. Blast zones are pretty close, and there's not a lot of room to run, so Ganondorf definitely has a lot of stage control, but Inkling can definitely take it from him pretty quickly. Another problem with Ganondorf against Inkling, or at least for Inkling, it's going to be his weight, but Inkling can still kill pretty quickly, so weight doesn't really affect Inkling's like side special to up smash or anything like that. But an up smash from Ganondorf is going to take the second stock as well. I'm going to try and land a back hit of up air for some reason, although did get down smash. He is going to make it back to stage though. At 122%, still living. Lands the back air. He's not going to be able to survive for much longer, and Inkling down airing Ganondorf to make sure that he stays in the ground, even though he was in special fall and really couldn't have made it back. That could be enough to get Ganon. No, he does still have a little bit of range there. I mean, that's the best thing you can do against Ganondorf in this scenario, is try to knock him off stage to gimp him, but Inkling seems to be doing a good job of trying to stay alive, but doesn't have that much ink, so might not be for much longer. Up smash not going to really do that much without ink, but Inkling can't really refuel at the moment, as Ganondorf can just approach. Tries to do rapid jab without ink, definitely a bad option. Almost ran into the up smash, but landed the forward air and spaced it properly and everything. Neutral air from Ganondorf is going to be pretty bad, and I've got to answer this phone call real fast, but I'll be back. But yeah, sorry about that. Inkling did lose the stock there, unfortunately, to Ganondorf, so even though she had taken Ganondorf's second stock, so we could have seen a reverse 3 stock happen. All you would need is just like a footstool edge guard or a down air edge guard, but not going to be able to do that. And now we have Sheik versus Ness. A lot of PK fire coming out from Ness, going to get a lot of percent off of that. Definitely something that Sheik is going to have to try to make up for pretty quickly. Get a lot of forward air strings or something similar, as you know, Ness can get a lot of damage very quickly with his PK fires. Back throw, probably able to kill Sheik around 100%, so Sheik's definitely trying to stay airborne and away from Ness, or at least I would try to stay pretty decently far away from Ness, space out my aerials and stuff like that. But back air also going to be enough to kill Sheik, especially if Ness gets the sweet spot. Parry to down smash coming up from Sheik. Sends Ness kind of outwards, but not far enough away for him to not be able to jump to get back to where Sheik was. PK fire coming out from Ness. Adds a bit of percent, but not really as much as it did earlier. Not going to get 40% off of the PK fire. Forward smash. It's definitely going to give Ness a lot of stage control in that scenario, but not really much else. And I believe Sheik just needled his PK Thunder, if I saw that correctly. So that definitely could have helped Ness out a lot. He can use PK Thunder to edge guard. It obviously has a hitbox, now that I can speak. So, like a hitbox that sends backwards as compared to Luke's, which is a multi-hit. So, if Sheik is hit by PK Thunder, Sheik will probably bounce back off stage, and then another PK Thunder can happen. It's basically like a mini version of Nikita. That's not as solid, but still a pretty good move, as it is a non-physical projectile. Whereas with Nikita, it kind of run into that problem. Although if Ness does hit himself with PK Thunder, then he will move, compared to if Snake hits himself with Nikita, then nothing happens. Ness probably gonna go recover low, yep, against Sheik, and Sheik's going to be able to forward or back air, I believe that was actually Ness, and it is going to take the stock. Sheik definitely at a pretty large disadvantage here, being 126% into second stock, whereas Ness is at 7.5% on his second stock. So she's got a long way to go before she can get back to being even or being an advantage compared to Ness, but I think that she can maybe do it if she plays carefully, although running into down air is definitely not that solid of a start, and PK Thunder isn't either. Though she is just fast enough to be able to avoid that PK Thunder. If that one would have connected up at the top, Sheik would have lost another stock. Sheik obviously has Rage at 160%, but he runs into the problem being light, and forward air is going to be able to take your stock very easily. Obviously, with Sheik being one of the lightest characters in the game, I believe the 6th lightest. So, having Rage is definitely beneficial, but it's not going to help Sheik out that much because she can still die pretty easily. And PK Fire almost gimping Sheik there. Up throw coming out from Ness to an up air, so gonna get a lot of percent off of that. Parried some needles, but doesn't really get any sort of follow-up off of them. And an up smash out of parry is going to be enough to take Sheik's final stock. So Ness does move on to round 2. Now we have Ryu versus Pichu. Obviously Ryu is going to be a pretty strong character. He's got a lot of pretty solid kill confirms out with his Shoryuken. Going to be able to kill Pichu very quickly, but Pichu, obviously, is a much faster, smaller character, going to be able to avoid a lot of Ryu's attacks. And get a lot of setups with Thunder Jolt, though it does run the risk of damaging itself. And obviously, in 3.1, the damage that Pichu does to itself is much greater, so Pichu's already at 80% basically within the first 30 seconds of the match, now at 100, so things are definitely looking pretty solid for Ryu at the moment. And up air, not going to be able to take Pichu's stock, but it was pretty close. Sure, you can definitely able to kill Pichu at this percent. Neutral air, I believe that was, into a down air. That was actually a really good call out from Ryu. I don't know why, but Ryu seems to do pretty solid when compared to Ken in these little CPU tournaments. Ken not really doing that great. Even when they fought in the last CPU tournament, Ken definitely didn't do that solid, but a lot of these fire Hadoukens is what I call them, as I can't really pronounce what they're actually called, but they're basically just fire Hadoukens, or red Hadoukens. And they're much faster than their blue counterparts. Shoryuken gets a weak hit of it though, and back air is actually going to be able to take Pichu stock. Not a common move from Ken and Ryu, as they always face their opponents in 1v1s, but definitely a pretty powerful move if landed, although you do have to cross up to land it most of the time. Definitely would have taken Ryu's stock there, but forward smash, not as safe as it was, but still not going to help Pichu out spam it, and lands the Shoryuken out of, or against Pichu's down special. I believe that was like the strong hit of Shoryuken, maybe. I think if he would have landed weak hit, it wouldn't have worked as well for Ryu. But there's a weak hit of Shoryuken. You can kind of tell the weak hit because Pichu's currently not dead, basically. And Ryu obviously having Rage is definitely going to help him kill much faster. And side special is actually going to be enough to kill Pichu there. I've actually never seen Ryu or Ken kill with side special, so
Give it your all.
it's pretty impressive. It's just not a very safe move to throw out, obviously. If it's shielded, because it's not a multi-hit, then it just means that Ryu's kind of just got to be sitting there in the animation, but... And now we have Pokemon Trainer versus Sonic. Going to be at Dreamland 64, so Wispy Woods is also going to make an appearance, as well as the occasional Kirby enemies, and King Dedede. So, that stage is definitely something that you have to watch out for at the bottom, because you could get stuck underneath the stage and gimped. Which is basically what I call Wispy Woods getting a kill, but he hasn't gotten any kills in the previous CPU tournaments. At least not any this season, but... Gonna be a jab coming out from Swirtle. Sonic just keeps trying to land this side special, but Swirtle's a little bit too small for it to connect. He's going to up special straight out of the way of that up smash. Switching into Ivysaur, probably not the brightest idea against Sonic, as Sonic's just trying to land side special at this point, so obviously having a much larger hitbox means that you're going to be hit by it more. But obviously Ivysaur has the advantage of being a pretty strong cylinder character, with a solid amount of range. And being heavier than Swirtle means that you're going to die a lot later. Back air coming out from Sonic. He's going to switch into Charizard, actually. And lands the down air into up air. Hello. Up air wasn't really true or anything, but took Sonic stock with it. And Sonic landing a back air, not going to be enough to kill. Tries to go for a Flare Blitz, but Sonic air dodge is pretty low. I mean, it wouldn't have connected unless Sonic jumped into it, but air dodging, I guess, isn't a bad option. I think he air dodged early as well, so it still would have connected. Yeah, it's Charizard at 150% going to be able to get Rage here. Switching into Squirtle. I mean, it's okay to switch into Squirtle at higher percents, obviously. You probably will die a lot quicker because Squirtle's much lighter, going to get baited into the spring and up air. But Squirtle, being much smaller, is pretty advantageous at higher percents because then you're harder to hit. Yeah, switching to Ivysaur at lower percents, so I guess he respawned as Ivysaur because he died as Squirtle. Going to do a lot of damage to Sonic here. Sonic's already at 113% in the stock. And Ivysaur going to get the kill with the up special. It's definitely a pretty solid move for sniping people. A lot of people try to combo into it off stage and stuff like that because it does send a little bit outwards compared to upwards, but still can kill off the top if your opponent's at a high enough percent. And then switching into Charizard and advantage is pretty useful, as Charizard is going to be able to maintain advantage for a pretty long amount of time, being heavier and more powerful. Although now Sonic has a percent lead, but he's still a stock behind. He just keeps kind of charging side special, which, I mean, at some point you gotta try to space out your opponent and camp more effectively than what Sonic's doing, but I guess that neutral B into back air is going to be pretty effective, as it did take the stock there. Must be an electric type move or something similar. And that up air, barely going to be able to hit Sonic, but it's definitely one of the largest hitboxes in the game, so it does connect. Now for the final battle of round 1, we have Zero Suit Samus versus Ludwig von Koopa, I guess is his name, if I remember correctly. That was an old show. The Super Mario Brothers show, I believe that's where they said his name, and I'm thinking of. But yeah, I used to watch that show all the time, but it's still on Netflix for some reason, so I guess if you want to watch it, it's on there. I'm pretty sure you could probably find it on YouTube as well. I know the original Super Mario Brothers movie, like the live-action one, was on YouTube for a while. Yeah, back to the match. We've got Ludwig actually doing pretty well over Zero Suit, being able to nair out the flip kick there, avoids the grab there, and lands an up air into that flip kick as well. Dodging that neutral air. Neutral air is a very powerful move for Zero Suit, as it has a lot of combos that result out of hitting a neutral air at pretty much any percent. Zero Suit's just kind of trying to avoid Ludwig and then like bait and punish, but it's not really working out. So she probably needs to play a bit more aggressively, as Ludwig is not going to be able to handle the aggressiveness, and gets the kill with up special there at the ledge. Like, Ludwig is pretty good, or I guess Bowser Jr., I guess I'll just call him that. He's pretty good at defending himself up close, but if he's out of range, he can set up a lot of his like Mecha Koopas and get a lot of combos started off of them, as well as use his cannon. That's a little bit more risky, but if you just hit neutral B rather than hold it down and try to charge it, it gives a bit of stage control for a bit of time. So obviously, if it gets blocked, or if your opponent just stands on the other side of the stage from where you shot it, then you're not going to be able to travel too far. But that's still more stage control to you, so you can still get a decent approach out of it. Same thing with Mecha Koopas. It's just Mecha Koopas are a little bit stronger, I guess. They're a bit more versatile. Dash attack coming out from Ludwig. Tries to get an up special, I believe, into like a forward air or something along the lines of that. But cannon is going to be enough to kill Zero Suit there. So Ludwig with a 2-stock lead currently. Still on his first stock at 135%. I would say he's still got a while to go, as Bowser Jr. and Ludwig, they're pretty heavy with their clown car, at least. Up throw, not going to be enough skill. And this stage also has a pretty large top blast zone. Up throw coming out from Zero Suit. Again, it's probably a little bit stale. Flip kick, tries to jump over Ludwig rather than going for like a footstool arc round or anything. Lands directly in front of Ludwig there, and luckily Ludwig retreats, as he is at 171, so he probably wants to keep this stock. Not much of a reason to, though. Zero Suit's already almost at 100%, 11% away, so now it's at 104 after that rapid jab. And back here is going to be enough to take Ludwig's first stock. So Zero Suit, I think she could still come back if she gets a 0 to death here, but it's going to be pretty difficult, and the forward smash is going to be enough to be able to take it for Ludwig, so We're moving on to round 2. Round 2 should go by much faster than round 1, as a lot of the characters have been eliminated. Although this game one's probably going to be pretty slow, with it being Rosalina and Luma versus Mega Man. We're going to be at Midgar for this fight. So, both starting out on a platformer though. Rosalina and Luma do get the first hit. I guess Luma took the first hit. Sorry, not Rosa, but Luma did take the first hit from Mega Man's pellet, but didn't really count to Rosalina's percentage. I'm gonna absorb the Leaf Field. Don't really know why, but I guess that's less stage control for Mega Man. Mega Man definitely taking advantage of the fact that Rosalina is playing pretty aggressive even though she does have Luma. Most time with Luma, I just kinda camp and let Luma attack. Like, I send Luma in to do all the work, and then when Luma dives, I go in aggressive, but you do have pretty limited, like, your speed's pretty limited and stuff like that as Rosa, so, and your range as well, so you won't be able to do as much as Luma can, but definitely could get in a lot of damage. Rosalina may be building up rage, although she is pretty light, so might not be able to live for much longer. She can get juggled pretty badly by Mega Man's up air as well. Back air is going to take the stock. Because her fall speed is really slow, Mega Man's up air is just going to be able to carry her up to the top, and then she's going to have to fall. Mega Man kind of just spamming up air a bit too fast and doesn't land the second one. Gonna land a grab here into a back air. That was like a raw back air as well. Very smooth. With Z-drop the Metal Blade, Rosalina does pick it up, and then she Z-drops it onto the platform and it disappears. But she is going to lose the stock to up air there. We're going to see the third Luma, or I believe that actually might be the fourth one. I'm going to take another Metal Blade and waste it, but Mega Man's at 120%, so Rosalina definitely needs to take his stock pretty soon if she's going to be able to make a comeback here. She did really well game 1, but not doing too great this one. Like, she did pretty well against Kid, being able to get a 3 stock, but it turns out she might get 3 stock by Mega Man. Obviously, it does. He's a bit better against Rosa, I guess, but I don't know. The good thing about Kid is that you can get kills very early on Rosa, but with Mega Man, you just are much better overall, because Ken has a pretty unsolid neutral, at least in my opinion. Whereas with Mega Man, you can kind of just zone people out with projectiles, so... Because that's literally the only thing that you can do, unless you use up tilt or down tilt. Those are like the only moves that don't use projectiles. I guess up smash as well, but... Like, up smash, down tilt, and up tilt are the only moves that Mega Man has I can think of that don't use projectiles. Maybe back air, but I don't know if that's a projectile or not. But yeah, Mega Man's at 206% here, so he does have a lot of rage. Definitely can kill Rosalina very quickly, almost with the back air, but the up air will be able to take the stock. Yeah, I could kind of see that one happening as Rosa kind of jumped and then Mega Man hit the up air, and as soon as it connected, I felt like Rosalina wasn't going to make it. So Mega Man going to get a 3 stock and move on to semifinals against either Simon or Ganondorf. This one should be pretty interesting as Simon carries over a lot of the strengths that Inkling has with a lot of like projectiles and zoning ability against Ganondorf, but Ganondorf was able to defeat Inkling, obviously at a pretty advantageous stage, being Castle Siege. Whereas with Pokemon Stadium, it's going to be a bit more difficult. You just got the platforms, and you've got a pretty flat area, which is kind of good for Ganondorf, but it's pretty good for Simon because he can throw his projectiles, so Ganondorf does have the platforms to evade them. Could see, I thought he was maybe going to go for a forward air, but instead he gives up on the edge guard, or maybe an air. Either one definitely would have killed Simon, but forward throw coming out from Simon could lead into an edge guard, and it does, but it doesn't really follow up the side special hit with anything. He tries to do a forward smash, but I mean, forward smashing at that percent, it's not going to kill Ganondorf, so... I mean, it could set him off stage into a bad spot, but maybe not. And forward smash from Ganondorf going to be enough to take Simon's stock here. Ganondorf at 122%, still going to live from the axe and the down smash. Forward air as well, but... Oh yeah, that might have been back air, but I believe that was forward air. Because I know with back air you can angle it, but I'm not too sure with forward air. Anyway, Ganondorf taking up a lot of percent here, so he does have some decent rage, but can he survive long enough to use it? And I guess not, because the axe is going to take Ganondorf's stock. I'm going to land a flame choke here. Doesn't really follow it up. He does try to do a dash attack, but Simon just able to use his invincibility to be able to evade it. Forward smash is going to get parried by Simon for sure, and then punishes with a forward smash of his own. Ganondorf tried to do a forward smash, or a down smash out, actually out of parry, but Simon parried it. Tried to do a forward smash, and then Ganondorf parried it, so... Forward smash from Ganondorf is going to give him back the lead. And a down special as well. Flame show coming out from Ganondorf. It does lead into a back air. Tried to do an up air out of it, but landed on the ground, so it cancelled, and then needed a back air afterwards. Maybe it was to bait out a defensive option from Simon, but definitely worked in Ganondorf's favor either way. Simon starting to show that Ganondorf can't really approach him that well, as he does have forward tilt and forward air, as well as his many projectiles to be able to get people off of him. Ganondorf would have went for a down air, might have been able to take Simon's stock there, but Simon definitely able to use up special to recover and axe to be able to secure the stock. Going to pick up the holy water and throw it back at Simon, but Simon starting to get his projectile set up, lands an up tilt, lands an up special, after landing on the platform and cancelling his back air. I don't really know why he did a back air there, but I guess it didn't hurt him. So Ganondorf is going to lose the lead, and now Simon has a 6-point advantage, or a 6%, although Ganondorf does take it back with an up smash, so it's definitely going to be a lot harder for Simon to get back in the lead. Going to parry the volcano kick there. Thought he was just going to stand and take it, but he actually parried it. Definitely a scary move to be thrown out at 100%, as you're going to be playing a lot more defensively, so if Ganondorf lands that and you get your shield broken against Ganondorf, he has a move that can kill Cloud at 2%, so being his World Lock Punch, but Simon not able to recover, so Ganondorf does move on to semifinals. He's going to be playing against Mega Man in the semifinals, so he's going to be playing against another projectile zoner, so we'll have to see how it goes. But now we have Ness versus Ryu. Ness able to do a lot of stuff with PK Fire in the last game, and Ryu not going to be able to handle PK Fire too well, so we'll have to see how it goes. But Ryu's zoning tools can be absorbed by Ness, being the Hadouken and the red Hadouken, that one there. I don't know how to pronounce his name, as I said earlier, so Ness can absorb all of them, or just reflect them with the bat as well, for the ones that he can, although he can absorb all of them for Ryu. He is going to be able to recover there. Ryu almost taking the stock, though. Definitely got a pretty fast lead on Ness here. Going to be a lot of down tilts, and it's going to be enough to get Ryu, but Ness going to save Ryu, actually, so he can forward throw him. I believe this is just for disrespect, but I'm not entirely sure. Guess he just wanted to save Ryu so that way he could prolong his death, but yeah, that's basically just what happened. Maybe he wanted to go out an honest way, but I'm not really sure about that one. He does have Magnet hands though, so he is going to be able to grab the ledge. Use his Fly Magnet on his hands, but you can't really see it. PK Fire into a forward smash from Ness, as the PK Fire did get parried. by Ryu, but he is going to land at down tilt to Shoryuken, which is going to be enough to take Ness's first stock, so... Now it's a somewhat even game, with Ryu having a 50% disadvantage. Giga Fire definitely going to help out Ness a lot in this scenario. Up air coming out from Ness. To a down air from Ryu. But he does land a back air. It's pretty far away from the ledge though, so it's not going to be enough to kill. And Ryu, with pretty decent DI there, going to be able to live. Landed straight into the corner, which is exactly what you want to do in that scenario. Though you don't want to give Ness a ledge advantage, obviously, as Ryu, because your recovery's not going to be as solid as his, basically. He's going to charge that up smash and completely destroy Ness there, so he does take the lead. He's got Rage. He was charging the up smash, so it did more percent, and completely read Ness's back roll there. And then he waited for Ness to try to throw out an aggressive option against him charging for our up smash, and then he just let it rip. But up air going to be enough to take Ryu's stock there. DI won't be enough to save him this time. Both of them trying just to get a hit in. Looks like Ness is going to be the first one to break the ice. Really good spot dodge from Ness, although he probably should have rolled out instead, but still works, as he had the lead there, although Ryu did take it back. Now he has once again regained the lead. He's going to be able to air dodge back to ledge. Ryu able to get the Shoryuken to take the lead by 0.2%. So both of them are kind of just trading. It's a pretty even game for this final stock here. Ness going to be able to land a forward air though. PK Thunder going to be pretty advantageous for Ness in this scenario. Ness down tilt being able to frame, it's going to be enough to kill Ryu and tries to save him with PK Thunder. Doesn't work this time though. I like how they both have moves that just like can be cancelled into themselves, like their down tilts can kind of be cancelled into themselves where they can just be spammed. It's pretty entertaining to watch those moves, but kind of annoying to be hit by them. Now we have Pokemon Trainer versus Ludwig. At least in my opinion, those moves are annoying to be hit by. I guess you can SCI out, but I just don't really like getting hit by multi-hits, especially long ones like down tilts and stuff like that. I don't really mind stuff like Palutena or Palutena's Nair, like a Link Up special, but whenever like Ness has got me in a corner or something and I'm getting trapped in the corner just continuing to down tilt, that annoys me in this game. Or like PK Fire, for example, but PK Fire is pretty easy to get out of. Yeah, Ivysaur, definitely not doing that great at the beginning here, though. Could get a jab and could maintain, or not maintain, but get a lead, and he does. Ludwig going to be able to land the rapid jab. I don't know why, but Ludwig and all of the Koopalings, Bowser Jr. included, they just have a pretty strong rapid jab, or just jab in general. I believe Robin has the strongest jab in the game, though. At least they have the strongest jab finisher. And I don't understand what that was, but it is going to be enough to get him Squirtle. I believe he pushed Squirtle with his hitbox, and Squirtle was light enough to be able to be moved by Ludwig, because Ludwig's a bit heavier, so then he just pushed Squirtle out of the way. And then Squirtle tried to up special, and it wasn't enough to get back. Ludwig did lose the stock there to Ivysaur, so Ivysaur doing a lot of work against Ludwig here. And switch over to Charizard. And into Squirtle as well. And back to Ivysaur. I guess the down special was a misinput. Charizard switch again. Trying to land a forward air to recover, but Ludwig going to air dodge, so Charizard still can recover, and that forward air is going to be enough to take Ludwig's stock. We're going to be able to land the side special there. One of the moves that got patched, but Squirtle's side special is going to go through the Mecha Koopa. Allow him to be able to get a hit there. Down air, not going to be enough to kill Squirtle there. Back air doesn't get the tech, but it's at a low enough percent where it wouldn't matter if he got the tech. Up special, not going to be enough to kill Ludwig there, but neutral special would have if he would have had enough water gun to be able to push him. Haven't really seen anyone use win boxes to kill anyone yet, except for Ludwig against Squirtle earlier, but that wasn't really a win box. Ludwig got 107, 119.9 now, so needs to get in some percents pretty quickly to be able to get the lead back from Ivysaur. Could also just take the stock pretty quickly with a Gimp, but definitely getting a lot of damage out. Going to do a Dash Dance. Charizard going for the Flare Blitz. I don't know why I said Simon, but back air is going to be able to kill Ludwig there. It didn't even sweet spot, I believe, because sweet spot's on the tail if you land on the fire part of the tail. But Pokemon Trainer is able to move on against Ludwig. Definitely one of the better Bowser Jr.'s in CPU tournaments in the past, so. And now we have Mega Man versus Ganondorf. So, Mega Man could potentially be the one to defeat Ganondorf here, as Ganondorf won the last tournament as well. Currently, I believe he's undefeated. A 0 to death? I would count that as a 0 to death, so yeah. I guess he traded on the last hit, but that's going to be a very early stock for Mega Man in any capacity. A down air almost being able to take it, but Ganondorf takes an early stock from Mega Man with a footstool, so it's pretty much an even game. Both of them losing a stock within 30 seconds. Not too impressive for Ganondorf, but for Mega Man that is pretty impressive. Could see a hard knuckle come out for Mega Man, but he doesn't go for the down air. Down air will be enough to kill Ganondorf at 80%, basically, as long as Ganondorf doesn't have a jump. Up smash coming out from Mega Man into an upward neutral B, into an up air, into another upward neutral B, which isn't going to hit Ganondorf, but instead result in him getting forward tilted, but he does block the Wizard Foot that Ganondorf tried to use to land and then punish for the down smash. Ganondorf tries to grab the Metal Blade and then does, but Mega Man's going to land a down throw to fair. His fair gets parried there, so he's going to get down tilted, but the up smash from Ganondorf is going to get blocked. Mega Man needs to tread pretty carefully here, as Ganondorf can definitely take his stock with almost any of his moves. I believe the only one that he can't take his stock with is the first hit of neutral air. But forward air is going to be enough to kill there. Tries to go for the Shoryuken, don't really know why, but doesn't really get punished for it too badly. Definitely could have resulted in a forward smash. But that is going to be enough to take Mega Man stock, though, so Ganondorf is going to move on to finals, so the winner of the next game gets to move on to the Contest of Champions for free, basically, even if they don't win, because Ganondorf already has a spot for that. So it's going to be between Ness and Pokemon Trainer. I'm going to get a drink of water real fast.
2, 1, go!
Going to be at Lilac Cruise for this one, the stage that tilts in multiple ways. I still haven't downloaded that one Lilac that got improved, in quotation marks. Although this is hazardless, so none of the stages are going to move or anything, it's just going to be flat. I tried to pick legal stages as well as stages that were banned because they were too close to stages that were already legal. And then I also have Castle Siege in there. I'm not really sure if that one's legal, but it's small, it's small and the blast zones are small, which pretty much the only reason I would think it would be illegal is because the blast zones are pretty close. And I meant to say if Pokemon Trader did lose the stock there, but the blast zones are pretty close, but the stage itself is pretty small, so it kind of balances out. Like the ratio, I guess, of movement that you can travel from the blast zone. Although it is a bit close, so I might take that out. I've also added in Fountain of Dreams because there were a lot of frame rate drops problem, which is the main reason that it was excluded, and Backthrow is actually going to be able to take this to stock there. But Fountain of Dreams, I haven't run into any frame rate drops. I've seen people run into frame rate drops, though. I don't know if they've been patched or not, though. I haven't seen any in this patch, at least, so. I haven't heard of that being a problem since the game first released, but not a lot of people have played on the stage since then. Yeah, pretty even game here. Ness going to take back the lead, but then Ivysaur takes it back, so they're basically going to trade. But Ivysaur's forward smash might be the difference. Does land the up air against Ness's down air. PK Thunder could have changed the game if Charizard wouldn't have checked the wall hit if he would have been hit into the wall. But he is able to avoid it, and now Ness is at about 20% for this final stock. This is his tournament stock, so if he does lose, then he won't be able to make it back. And down air is going to be enough to take Pokemon Trader stock there, so pretty even game once again. Ness just has to get in a few hits and he can get Pokemon Trainer to about 70%, maybe if he does something fancy with Side Special, but Squirtle doesn't really have to do much to take a stock, but he does steal Water Gun, so I guess it covered Ness's high recovery, but Ness still unable to make it back to stage. For finals, we've got Ganondorf versus Pokemon Trainer. Yeah, we're not going to skip this battle either. We haven't skipped any of them, so this one will not be included into that.
3, 2, 1, go!
Forward smashes from Squirtle. Not going to do that much again Ganondorf in terms of being able to put him at kill percent, but it's definitely going to start adding up pretty soon. Already at 69.6%. Ivysaur being swapped in. Definitely could take a stock here, but Dark Dive gonna have Magnet Hands on Ivysaur there. I believe he went for like a move and it extended his hitbox, so then Ganondorf's Dark Dive reached, but definitely looked a little bit messed up. So we're taking the Charizard. Being a heavy is pretty useful against Ganondorf, but being a slow heavy like Charizard, not so useful. I guess Ganondorf's pretty slow. Up Smash is going to be able to take Pokemon Trainer's first stock here, so it's going to switch back over to Squirtle. And this Pokemon swap, so he avoids the Dark Dive. Pretty smart move. Gonna do a Dash Dance as well. Because Pokemon swap does give you frame 1 invincibility, so you can use that to avoid any attack, basically. As long as you can do it, because it does have a bit of a cooldown. So you can't just switch over to Squirtle and then in the middle of the Pokemon swap switch over to Charizard or whatever. Or I guess Ivysaur would be the next one, but you get the idea. Squirtle does have a fully charged Water Gun, so could see him against Ganondorf. He's going to be put back into the ball, but it does remain charged, so as long as Pokemon Trainer does not lose his stock or use the Water Gun. Going to be a lot of rolls coming out from Ivysaur. An up air to stop his momentum. Because it does slightly push Ivysaur down, so if you're getting sent to the top last zone, you might want to try to use an up air to stop yourself. Apparently air dodges don't help you recover back to stage, is what I've heard. So you just want to try to DI and then do any move that you can that propels you away from the blast zone. So like a raw back air, for example. But air dodging does still help you if you do not make it into the blast zone in the first place to help you recover if you've got a pretty weak recovery. Down air into neutral air coming out from Ivysaur. Another neutral air, going to send Ganondorf towards the stage this time though. Concede up smash, connect, but does not connect, so Ganondorf still going to be able to live at 166. Definitely need to do something with this stock. Tries to go for the Flare Blitz, but Ganondorf grabs Ledge just in time to get into invincibility. That would have been a pretty good play as well. Gonna Flare Blitz back into the stage again. Definitely not looking too great for Pokemon Trainer here, as he's already at 130%. Ganondorf at 200%, still living. Another Dark Dive is going to be able to screw him back onto the stage. Charizard keeps going for these Flare Blitzes. It's not really working out, though. I didn't really know what's happening there, but he does land the down air. I thought Ganondorf landed the up smash that he was charging, but he does land the down smash, which is going to be enough to take Pokemon Trainer stock. So Ganondorf winning another game, definitely going to affect ranking and stuff like that. So, yeah, we've got time for another CPU tournament, so I want to do another one as I missed 2, so. And I'm already behind and stuff like that. Like, this would be episode 11, so. Kinda need to do CPU tournament 11 so that I can get caught back up, because one got interrupted in one of the earlier episodes. So that's why I've been behind, but I'm gonna try to use this as an opportunity to catch back up, so. I'm gonna leave in Ganondorf. Pokemon Trainer gets to stay as well, although gonna be a different CPU. It's gonna be number 2. So where is Pokemon Trainer's right here, so. And all the rest of CPUs do have to be random, so. And I kind of want it to be the same Pokemon Trainer, so, let's see. He was sent out, I believe he sent out, Squirtle first, so I'm gonna leave that in. And then I gotta change all these to random, so it'll only take a second. And then anyone who's been in, like, previous CPU tournaments that has won, as well as King Dedede, they're all banned, basically, because they've already have a spot, so no reason to have them included. But the people from the set of 4, so this would be CPU tournament number 3 of this set of 4, they can stay in. But as soon as that 4th game's done, then those 4 are no longer allowed into any more CPU tournaments. Basically how I do it, in case you're not used to it now. Or you're new, I guess. Ike's already won a game, and I believe he's the only one. Yeah, it's just Ike, so. We just gotta set him back to random, and we gotta see who we get. Yeah, we got Young Link this time. Okay, so we've got Ganondorf, Pokemon Trainer, Pikachu, Diddy Kong, Kirby, Luigi, Wario, Young Link, Fox, Duck Hunt, Zelda, Snake, Falco, and then we've got Villager, Daisy, and Cord. So, I'm going to shuffle this a few times, and then we can go in. And this is going to be the last CPU tournament I do for the day, because I'll probably have to go after this one. I might have time for another one, but I doubt it. So, this is going to be Pikachu versus Pokemon Trainer for Game 1. So, depending on which Pokemon we're going to see use the most in this fight, could be advantageous to Pikachu or not. Obviously, with Squirtle, it's a much smaller character, so Pikachu's going to have trouble hitting him, because Pikachu really doesn't have that much range, but that also means that Squirtle's going to have a hard time hitting Pikachu. Going to try to get in a few Thunder Jolts. He is able to recover back to stage using Quick Attack. Back throw coming out from Pikachu, and switching into Charizard. Pretty solid option against Pikachu. Obviously, Pikachu's pretty fast, so Charizard is not going to be able to get in a lot of hits, but the hits that he does get in, it's definitely going to hurt Pikachu a lot more than it helps him. I'm going to start spamming Flare Blitz again, so he does swap for an up air. Pikachu does get backstage, lands an up air of his own, into a Thunder, another Thunder, but it does not connect that time. Forward air, not going to be enough to kill Pikachu. It does DI towards the corner, but that forward smash from Squirtle, kind of in the middle of the end lag from the side special, so not much he could do there. Neutral air coming out from Pikachu, not going to be enough to kill Squirtle. Switching into Ivysaur is a pretty solid option, but down smash is definitely going to take the stock there for Pikachu. So now we've got back to Charizard. And now back in the Squirtle. Puzzle, I'm trying to get in a few hits at the beginning here. Obviously being smaller, it's a little bit easier to get hits and run away, which is kind of what you want to do at lower percents, but Squirtle's going to try to go for a combo here. Pikachu does get out of it, though. Lands forward air to be able to get backstage. And a back air as well. Knocks Squirtle off stage, but doesn't try to edge guard at this percent. Another fair from Squirtle. Going to be able to land. Pikachu landing a neutral air. And an up air. Squirtle still has a lead by about 2% though. Sorry for hitting my mic there, but yeah, still has the lead. Goes for an up smash. Pikachu does punish with slide special. Goes for another up smash. Doesn't go punish this time. An up smash coming up from Ivysaur into an up smash, and that's going to take Pikachu's stock. And forward smash coming up from Pikachu, going to reset it, so 0-0 here for the third stock for both opponents. Up throw to fair, coming out from Charizard. Barely misses that up tilt, and it's going to get punished by Pikachu's up tilt. It hits pretty low, so it's a little bit more consistent than Charizard's. Charizard going for a Flare Blitz. Back air from Charizard. Could see him go for some sort of an edge guard here, but he instead goes for neutral special. Switching over to Squirtle, might be able to get in a bit of damage, but Pikachu gonna land an up smash and switches over to Ivysaur. Did take out Pikachu last time, so you can see him do it this time as well. And Ivysaur's up air is going to be able to beat out Pikachu's down air, because it just had a bit more range, so Pokemon Trainer does move on to round 2. So now we have Young Link versus Falco. I'm going to be on Dreamland 64 with Gourmet Race from Super Smash Bros. Brawl in the background. I believe the bomb got reflected back into Toon Link there because the reflector for Falco obviously travels back to him, and so it hit Toon Link. I mean, not Toon Link, but Young Link. I keep getting those two confused today. But yeah, that is going to be enough to take Young Link stock, though. So, very fast stock coming out from Falco. Under 30 seconds. I'm going to shoot the bomb that time. Bomb's going to blow up in the middle of that up smash from Young Link, so does save Falco there. Up special coming out from Young Link, going to be able to hit Falco with it and an up smash as well. Dash chancing, trying to land an up smash, but Falco does manage to land back on the ground safely. Another down special from Falco into a slide special. King DDD starts spectating in the background a bit. And that's going to be a spike from Falco with a slide special, and it's going to be enough to kill. Young Link definitely needs to get in some damage pretty soon or take Falco's stock to be able to get a comeback started, but looks like Falco is starting to punish Young Link a lot for a lot of his mistakes. Link tries to go for a bomb, doesn't work, tries to go for a fire arrow as well, and it doesn't work either. Gets hit by a down air. Does land the side special though. Going to spot dodge the grab and then try to punish with the up smash, but it doesn't really work out. Young Link is able to tech that hit though, so doesn't fall off the stage for a third time. At least, not yet. Back air, not going to be enough to kill Young Link there. He obviously has a bomb, so he can reset his up special, which is definitely going to help him out there. But it's going to land straight into that up smash from Falco, and that is going to be able to take the stock. So Falco does get a 3 stock. Extra bit of rage should help him secure the kill. So gets to move on to round 2 against Pokemon Trainer. Well, now we have Zelda versus Luigi. Definitely an interesting set of characters. Going to be at Midgar. Forward air into down smash coming out from Luigi. The Zelda lands down air and basically does about the same percent. Only like 11 in the last, which isn't that bad actually. Just off of one hit. Like Luigi did a forward air into smash attack and then Zelda just down airs him once and it's basically done almost the same amount of damage, but Luigi gonna get up, or get an up smash there, not get up smash, but does get hit by the up air from Zelda. And a back air from Zelda is also going to hit Luigi there and does sweet spot. Neutral air coming up from Zelda into another neutral air, although it doesn't connect all the hits this time. Luckily, she like canceled it or something, so not too bad. Forward smash coming out from Zelda, not going to be able to connect, but Luigi does get a misfire as a punish, so definitely pretty lucky there, as misfire has a 1 in 10 chance of happening. Back throw is going to be enough to take Luigi's stock though, so not too bad of a lead from Luigi. Zelda could definitely take this game back with like an up air or a lightning kick, which is her back air or forward air. But Luigi's going to be able to land Cyclone there, which is definitely going to help him out a lot. Tries to go for his air, does not connect, but he does land a dash attack. Zelda landing a down air, but Luigi's at a low enough percent to where it doesn't affect him too badly. Cyclone, not going to be able to take the stock. Zelda was able to DI that, but it wasn't really that close either. Zelda definitely needs to start getting in some hits pretty soon to be able to get some sort of a comeback started. And she's starting to do so. Luigi's already at 43%. But Zelda's about 100% ahead in comparison. Does land the up special, but she also does not cover because she didn't tech the hit. I believe it was like a neutral air from Luigi who didn't get tech, so then she had to up special, which Luigi did tech his hit. But that lightning kick is going to take Luigi's stock, so even game once again. Although Zelda does have an 18.6% disadvantage, but that's not anything too major. Neutral air coming out from Zelda, almost taking the lead. But up smash out of shield from Luigi, definitely going to put Zelda into a pretty bad spot. Another up smash as well. Zelda now at 69.2% to Luigi's 26.8%. Misses the lightning kick and the double up air. Does land a down air though, and then an up tilt into a neutral air. So Zelda's somewhat getting back the lead here, or not getting back the lead, but almost in the lead. But she does land the down air, and it does kill Luigi actually, so Zelda moving on to round 2. She was 1% behind there, so she technically never had the lead until she landed the final hit. I believe she didn't have the lead at the beginning, so that would mean that she never had the lead at all for that entire match. So now we have Duck Hunt versus Daisy. I don't really know what to say about this matchup. I believe Daisy should win, but Daisy hasn't really done well in any of these CPU tournaments, nor has Peach. Both of them, I at least would consider them to be the best character in the game. Not just because I main Daisy, or like, she's not my main, but I kind of have like two mains being Lucina and Daisy, so I would technically say that she's my main, but they're both pretty strong characters in terms of just edgeguarding and neutral. So that's kind of the two most important things to be pretty strong at. If you have a pretty solid neutral, then you get people into disadvantage, which means that you can edgeguard them, and then if you have pretty strong edgeguards, then you will be able to take their stocks fairly easily. But it's kind of agreed upon that Peach and Daisy are currently the best, or at least they were in 3.0. Not really sure about 3.1, but I would say the nerf to forward air and turnip didn't really affect Daisy and Peach as much as it probably could have. And up smash is going to take Duck Hunt's first stock. Daisy just going for a float. But yeah, they also got a buff because their up special now hits all the hits more consistently. But not too strong of a buff or anything. They did already nerf up special once, so it's kind of just a decent move now. Like, I still don't really use it that much in terms of like using it on stage, but Daisy did go for an up special there, which did end up with her getting hit in the face by one of those NES zapper people. That Duck Hunt can just summon the wild gunman, I guess. Down air coming out from Duck Hunt is going to be able to take Daisy stock there. Yeah, Daisy needs to start getting some hits here because Duck Hunt is starting to do pretty great, but Duck Hunt also needed a lot of these hits to be able to get a comeback started, as Daisy kind of destroyed him for the first stock. Gonna land that back air after landing the side special. And an up smash coming out from Daisy, definitely going to be able to take Duck Hunt's stock at 100%, so being at 116 really didn't help out that much. Get a down throw to up special. I've seen that happen a lot from a lot of the CPUs. I usually do back air, but not really sure which one's better. I believe back air is better though. I guess it's kind of stage dependent. So if you're playing on a stage like Battlefield with platform up near the top and you do down throw up special, then it's probably able to kill, but that up air from Duck Hunt is going to be able to take Daisy stock. Whereas down throw back air kills a lot better and sets up for edge guards on stages that don't have platforms, or it still sets up for that kind of stuff on stages with platforms, but it's a little bit more effective than up special, I guess, on those kinds of stages. Also, like, down throw back air just works pretty much forever for Daisy. Like, unless your opponent's at like 120%, then down throw back air should be able to connect. Yeah, Daisy barely able to recover there. Duck Hunt trying to cover a lot of Daisy's options with down airs, but not enough. Does land the up smash though, which just send Daisy into the air. Obviously, that's kind of the downside of Daisy and Peach, is that they are both pretty light characters and they don't really have the fastest fall speed, so they can get juggled a lot and pretty easily. But yeah, that up smash from Duck Hunt is going to be able to take Daisy's third stock. But yeah, as I said before, Daisy still hasn't done that well in CPU tournaments. I believe she's won one game out of 6 tournaments, maybe? I'll have to look, because I have like a spreadsheet where I have all of the stuff, but I can't pull it up right now because it actually just makes my laptop decide not to stream if I open up anything that's not Streamlabs. Yep, now we have Snake versus Ganondorf. Ganondorf, only person in this set of 4 that has actually won a CPU tournament, so Snake, obviously, another zone projectile character against Ganondorf. They haven't really been doing that well against him, but I feel like Snake might be the one that could take Ganondorf's third stock for once. He does have a pretty solid lead against Ganondorf here at the beginning. Gonna land that down air. I believe it is frame 3 for down air. It's like pretty much as soon as you jump and then down air. So if you do short hop down air, then you pretty much instantly just down air. So like what I mean by just jump and down air, I mean like hit XA and then hold down while hitting them, and then you'll do a short hop down air. Although you could obviously just like time the button press, but don't get it buffered out. And then obviously buffering has the advantage of being the first frame that it's an option. So that's why I'd recommend to do that rather than just try to short hop the attack. You could also just hit X and Y simultaneously to buffer out a short hop, and then just do pretty much anything out of it. Like, short hopping's pretty useful for gun sliding as Joker, but gun sliding's not that useful of a tech, but both characters have taken a stock, although I don't think I've acknowledged it yet. And Snake taking another stock from Ganondorf with Nair. Gonna land a down special into another down special, because he does get the plant on Ganondorf, because the launch angle of the first down special was enough to send Ganondorf in his direction. It's definitely a pretty smart way to set that up. Like, if you had a grenade instead of that, and you just planted a grenade in center stage, and then you waited for them to hit the grenade and then plant it at higher percents, then it could be a pretty easy kill. Well, obviously, you can use the C4 to blow them up at the top. But yeah, Nikita's a pretty strong character compared to Ganondorf, so it's definitely going to be a problem in the future, but so far it hasn't affected Ganondorf too much. Main reason is that we're on Lilat, and so the blast zone's pretty close to the ledge, I would say, but actually up tilt's going to be able to kill Ganon there. So, Snake moves on to round 2. Yeah, pretty quick game there. These games have actually been pretty quick, like none of them have gone to time today. In the past they've gone to time. I feel like the one with Villager and Wario might go to time, but this one with Diddy Kong and Kirby should be perfectly fine. Diddy Kong, obviously, probably the character that got the most buffed out of any character in the previous patch. Although, obviously, Ken and Ryu got more buffs than Diddy, but they weren't as effective. Like, they didn't really help them out as much as they helped out Diddy. Because now Diddy Kong can actually be used in the game, so definitely a pretty big buff, because Ken and Ryu were already slightly viable. Whereas with Diddy Kong, I would say he was definitely not a viable character. Even though I did put him in mid-tier, because I thought that he could possibly be optimized to be viable. Maybe they found out some tech with him or something, but now that he can recover, he's definitely a lot more viable. And he got a lot of other buffs that helped him out in this patch. Though, he does have the lead here. Kirby could definitely take it back pretty easily. Kirby can get out a lot of damage very quickly with aerials. A lot of Kirby's aerials combos into like smash attacks, or you can use aerials to get grabs into aerials into smash attacks. Stuff like that. Kirby has a lot of decent combos, but it's definitely held back by the slow airspeed and lightweight. Although I wouldn't say Kirby's a mid-tier character, or I mean a low-tier character, I would put him in mid-tier. At least that's where I put him on my last tier list. I feel like he's probably one of the more underrated characters, but he's definitely not someone that I would use in a tournament or anything like that. Though he's seeming to survive to 160% here against Diddy. Lands a neutral air, but it does trade with Diddy Kongs. Kirby does have rage, so could see a kill coming out very quickly from Diddy. I mean from Kirby or Diddy, I guess. And we see it actually come out from Kirby going for a down special. Tries to hit the back air. I guess it kind of traded with Diddy, but Diddy Kong did win the trade, so taking Kirby's stock in the process. Going to be a footstool coming out from Kirby, which is going to be enough to kill Diddy Kong, even with the patch. see the up special come out from Kirby, not gonna connect the projectile hit of it. Diddy Kong also went for a peanut, but it didn't connect either. Well, he does land the monkey flip into banana, and then tries to do another monkey flip, although it doesn't connect. Kirby landing a back air, tries to hit the banana, but it didn't work. Kirby grabbing the banana again and throwing it, but it did miss. Jumping over the peanut this time. Gonna be a downer coming out from Kirby into a jab, though Diddy Kong does manage to escape it. Up air coming out from Kirby into a down air. Not going to be enough to kill Diddy Kong, but it was pretty close. If Kirby would have went for another down air, it would have killed. But a back air is going to be enough to take Diddy Kong stock. And Kirby definitely could have landed another back air in that scenario. And the second to last battle of round 1 here is going to be Villager versus Wario, and it's probably going to be the longest of round 1, if I had to guess. Villager's most likely just going to spam side special and forward and back air to try and camp out Wario. Wario's just going to try to do his best to approach, and will probably win the game. See, nair to dash tag him out from Wario. Doesn't really get much follow-ups off stage, as Villager's doing a pretty good job of recovering backstage using forward air. Forward tilt coming up from Wario. Not going to be enough to take Villager's stock here, but I thought he was going to follow that up and then go for bike, but instead he decided to let Villager return backstage. I guess he would have returned to stage either way, unless Wario somehow got like super strong hit of forward air or something like that. So I don't think forward air would be able to kill Villager. Well, maybe now, but I don't think at 80 it would have killed. Villager trying to blow up bike for some reason rather than use it as a weapon. That's what I usually do, is I usually pick up bike and try to throw it at Wario, because you can use it to edge guard him pretty effectively. Or else just set up a ledge trap. Forward air into forward air coming out from Wario. Villager tries to do a forward air of his own, but Wario does dodge it and then lets Villager go back to stage. I guess he tried to get a trump, but it didn't really work. Gonna pick up the bike and throw it at Villager, but then Villager destroys it with slide special, and he's gonna land a neutral special, which is going to be able to kill. Villager was at like 140% whenever that landed, so definitely going to be able to take a stock. Up smash from Villager, not going to be able to take Wario stock though, and Wario does land a fair, so. And he also has waft, so we could see him use it properly, but probably not. And by properly, I mean get Villager to about 30% and then waft. But, yep, he went for it at 20. I guess Villager probably around 45 maybe, as opposed to 30. 30 is probably more, like Squirtle. Would probably die to waft at 40, but Villager definitely lived that at 20. Although he did have to actually land the waft. I can't speak, but he did actually land the waft. So that's pretty impressive for a CPU. Even the level 9 ones. Going to be a back air and a forward air coming out for Villager into another back air. Tries to get an edge guard with forward smash, but actually doesn't send it off stage. Going to land an up tilt here. Tries to go for an up smash, but Wario just goes to a different platform to ignore it. Going to be a forward throw coming out from Wario. Could see him go for an edge guard here, and he does, but it's not a very effective edge guard as Villager does make it back to stage. Going to be another forward air coming up from Villager. up air coming out from Villager, not going to be enough to take Wario stock there, but he does land the side special, which does actually give him the lead. And this is still the same stock where Wario used the waft, and Villager has the lead. But down air is going to be able to take the lead from Villager and give it back to Wario. I believe Wario had the lead as soon as I said Villager had the lead, but now it's an even game, so got a minute left on the clock. Could go to time. I think that's what Villager's trying to do here. That's what I would be trying to do, is just go to time and then try to camp out Wario in sudden death. As Wario now has Waft on deck, which definitely a big problem for Villager, as Villager's percent builds up, then he could be killed from Waft, but Wario chooses to use it at 30% center stage, which is not going to be able to kill Villager. 30% at the edge or off stage, maybe, but... And by off stage, I mean like right next to the ledge off stage. Like, that would maybe kill, but... Definitely not center stage. Would kill now, though, so I guess maybe Wario was just trying to use it to, get the lead. And nothing's happened for so long that Switch almost went inactive. But yet, this game is going to be the one that goes to time. And now Villager's probably going to win sudden death, as Wario's just... Oh, I thought he just SD'd, but no. Yep. Definitely a long game, but Villager, he seems to just camp people out for the entirety of a match. Like, that's what I've learned from CPU Villagers. If you don't have it up to like 7 minutes, and you have it up to 5 minutes, because I just want these matches to be about 5 minutes, then, Villager's just gonna camp you out, and then he'll just beat you in sudden death, basically. Or at least the CPU ones will. I guess the real ones do that too sometimes. Villager's just not a very aggressive character unless it's in sudden death. Kind of like the parry from Corrin there. In case Fox tried to go for a nair, but Fox didn't really go for one. Definitely better than just throwing yourself at Fox. I'm gonna land a back air. A neutral special, and then a side special, which is going to be able to kill, because it did land Tipper, and Fox is a pretty light character, being the 5th lightest in the game. Used to be tied with Mewtwo, but Mewtwo got a weight buff, so I don't know what Mewtwo's weight is now. It wasn't that big of a weight buff, though, is kind of the problem with that buff. Yeah, Fox really needs to take the stock here and then get in a few hits on this next stock to be able to get a comeback started. Does land an up smash, which should be able to kill, and it did, with a star KO, but now he just needs to be able to get in a bit of percent this stock before he loses his. Forward air from Corrin, it's going to be enough to go. I believe that was forward air. No, that was actually forward tilt, because forward air sends upwards. Never mind. Or it sends, like, slightly upwards into whatever direction Corrin's facing. It's kind of weird, but it allows for it to be comboed into itself and up air pretty easily. And it's pretty much like only Corrin's that sends in that same direction. At least that can be comboed. Because... like, I believe Ganondorf and Dr. Mario might send in the same direction, but it's not as easy to combo off of theirs because they have a bit too much inline. That side special is going to be enough to kill Fox there. So, yeah, very good game from Corrin. Going to be able to move on to round 2. And yeah, I would say it went pretty well. now we've got Pokemon Trainer versus Falco for round 2, battle 1. Pokemon Trainer is the only one who's going to be in the pre-COCs that's still in. And the real COC as well, but...
Three, two, one, go!
I'm gonna start out with Squirtle this game. Yeah, Squirtle not doing that great against Falco here. Or, I mean, it's actually the opposite. Falco wasn't doing that great against Squirtle. But now that Ivysaur's been swapped in, Falco's landed 2 forward smashes in a row, and then tried to reflect Flare Blitz, and almost died, but... Switching back over to Squirtle is probably a smart move, as Squirtle was doing a lot better against Falco than all of the other Pokemon combined. But that back air is going to be enough to take Squirtle's stock, for sure. A pretty nice combo from Falco there against Ivysaur here, but I'm gonna switch over to Charizard. Charizard getting comboed as well with a laser and a dash attack. Tries to go for a Flare Blitz to take Falco's stock pretty early. Falco does avoid it though. I believe Pokemon Trainers landed 1 Flare Blitz in the last 2 tournaments. And has gone for at least 10 times, I would say. But down tilt is going to be enough to take Squirtle's stock there. For some reason, as Falco, down tilt will just kill opponents. Like, kind of learned that whenever I did my daily thing for Falco, that down tilt's a very solid kill option at like 130% for most characters. And then whenever Rage gets involved, it kills around 100%, but you wouldn't think it would be as strong of a move as it is. So it's pretty good to counterpick Falco on stages that have pretty tall blast zones. Like Kalos Pokemon League, because then down tilt won't be able to kill as easily, and Falco will struggle to kill a lot more than he already does. Or at least I say he struggles to kill, but... like, he has very specific kill setups that work at very specific percents, and then once your opponent's not in that percent, then it just doesn't work anymore, and you've got to try to fish for down tilt. See a jab come out from Charizard here. I guess we can talk about E3 while nothing's happening on here. So, E3 yesterday was pretty good. That was the only one that I've watched so far, was Xbox and Bethesda. I mean, Nintendo's definitely going to win E3 by far currently. Like, the best thing from Bethesda's presentation was, I believe Starfield got a new picture, I think. Or at least they mentioned it, I remember them mentioning it. And that's going to be the game there. And then, from Bethesda, Doom Eternal is probably the best thing that they've got, which does look pretty good. I'm probably going to get it when it comes out on Switch and stream it a bit. And then you've got, not Halo, but for Microsoft, Halo Infinite. Obviously, it's going to be their best thing. And then I also kind of like Game Pass, but the Halo announcement was probably better. And then they also revealed stuff about Project Scarlet, which was kind of interesting, but I don't know if I'm going to get the next Xbox or not. I think I'm just going to stick to the Switch for now, as it's a pretty fun console. Yeah, for this game we've got Duck Hunt vs. Zelda, by the way. But, yeah, Nintendo's definitely set out to win E3 by far. The State of Play was okay as far as I heard, but I didn't watch that one. And then, I haven't seen any other conferences yet, so I'm probably gonna watch the Square Enix one after the stream whenever it starts at like 8 o'clock tonight, or whenever. It's 8 o'clock for me, but whenever that starts, and then I will be watching the Nintendo Direct live tomorrow. But yeah, Nintendo is definitely set out to win E3. There's already been a Smash character heavily hinted at by Sakurai that's going to be revealed at E3. Not going to be released at E3 though, as far as I know. Because he did say that he's working on the next DLC fighter, and more information will be revealed soon. And he said that at E3, so that probably means that it's going to be revealed at E3, if I had to guess. Obviously, I could be wrong, but still, that definitely sets it up. We've got Pokemon Sword and Shield information and Mario Maker information, I guess. There's probably going to be a new setting revealed, and Duck Hunt's going to take stock there with Up Air, actually. I guess Up Air is a pretty strong move, but it actually got buffed as well, so it hits more consistently. But yeah, there was a direct for Mario Maker and Pokemon Sword and Shield, but there's probably going to be more information at E3. Something was supposed to happen with Banjo-Kazooie, apparently, but nothing's happened yet, so he's probably going to be the next DLC fighter, which I wouldn't mind him. I kind of like the idea that Steve is going to be in, because I do like Minecraft. It's one of my favorite games, personally, but I don't really mind Banjo getting in, because a lot more people would want Banjo than Steve. Or I don't think a lot more would, but I'm not really sure. A lot of more, like, dedicated fans would. But Steve would definitely make a lot more money, at least I think. Although I do feel like a few people would buy Smash because Banjo was in. But yeah, there's nothing at the Microsoft presentation about Banjo, so that's why I think the E3 presentation's the only one that could... Or the Nintendo E3 presentation's the only one that could mention him at the moment. As Microsoft does own the rights to Banjo, as far as I know. But yeah, then they made Fallout 76 for the Bethesda one. They made that a Battle Royale now for some reason. I'm still as disinterested in the game as I was whenever I played it. Because I did play it, because I have a few streams of me playing the beta on YouTube at least. And there's some of my more popular streams apparently, but I still think the game's not that slow. I didn't really run into any problems when I played the game. Like, the game crashed the first day that I played it, and then ever since then I never ran into any issues. Oh, this game just became close. I'm probably gonna start commentating soon. But after that, I just heard, like, of all the item duping and stuff. Like, pretty much the game is completely unplayable now, apparently, to a lot of the people that still play it. Because everyone just has a bunch of legendary items that they've duped. Because I did hear about the big duping problem. And then there was obviously the bag thing, which doesn't make me too excited to get the Doom Collector's Edition, which comes with the helmet. I'm probably not going to get it. But yeah, there was that whole big thing. And I believe that got reflected by Zelda, and then Duck Hunt reflected it with a Wild Gunman. And so that's why that did so much damage to Zelda. Oh yeah, now I'm going to start commentating over this game again. So Zelda's not doing that great against Duck Hunt here. Duck Hunt's getting a lot of projectiles in, and Zelda can't really deal with the projectiles with her reflector for some reason. That down there, it's not going to be enough, but it was pretty close. Zelda still has a jump, so he is going to make it back. He even hits Duck Hunt with the jump, or with the up special. Sorry, whenever the games take like 5 minutes, then my controller just decides, or the Switch just decides to become inactive. But this could go to time. I didn't expect this game to go to time, but yeah, I don't know who camped the other one out, because they both kind of camp. And forward tilt from Zelda, barely killing Duck Hunt in time. Like, Zelda was like a pixel away from the blast zone. Or I think she got star KO'd, actually, because I should have killed Zelda first, if I know how the can works correctly. Because Zelda blew herself up with the can whenever she hit Duck Hunt, but I think she got a star KO, so that saved her. Yeah, now we have Snake versus Kirby here.
3, 2, 1, go!
Gonna be at Castle Siege. For some reason this song's playing again here. almost lands at C4, but Kirby does punish it with a side special, or not really punish it, but Snake kind of just ran up to Kirby, and then Kirby just side specialed, and Snake just stayed still. So Kirby gonna go for an up B at the ledge for some reason. I guess that Ghostwire game, I guess I'll get back to E3 now. That Ghostwire game was pretty interesting. From the people that made The Evil Within from Bethesda. That game does look pretty good. Like, the graphics in that game are, like, probably the best graphics for a video game I've seen. That's not like some simulator game. Because simulator games, they don't really focus that much on gameplay. They kind of just focus on the, like, simulation aspect of the experience, so everything looks pretty realistic for the most part. Like a car simulator, they usually have pretty decent graphics because they don't really focus too much on gameplay. They focus a lot on simulating what it would be like to drive the cars. So they focus a lot more on graphics, but that Ghostwire game is pretty good, and this Kirby is just astounding. Now I hope Kirby wins after that level of disrespect. Though it does run into the C4, so it looks like Snake might take it. Unless we could get something really good from Kirby here, which we definitely could. I keep running into the Cypher. Snake's just deciding to blow up the C4, even though no one's near it. Kirby going for the double up special. Gonna go for a C, or not a C4, but a Nikita here. Land C down air to up smash, so Kirby at 102% definitely could be killed by an up tilt or a C4, but yeah, that is going to be the game. Snake moves on to semifinals. I guess Snake did beat Ganondorf, so there wasn't really much Kirby could do in that scenario. Now we have Villager versus Corrin, so pretty slow game again. Last tournament, none of the games went to time. This tournament, this is probably going to be the third game that goes to time, if I had to guess. Smash 64 training mode music. Not the most exciting Smash 64 song, but not a bad one. Let's see what happens here. It looks like Villager's going to try to land with down air, and then he's going to go back to the platform, land with neutral air into a back air. Corrin's going to punish it with a down air into a dash tag. Villager's going to land with a down air into a forward air. Gets one of those Lloyd rockets, neutral airs into a Lloyd rocket, rolls in. Hit by the down air. Lloyd rockets. Tries to go for a down air, but Corrin upbeat early. Villager lands with down air. Goes for a grab and a forward throw into a Lloyd rocket. Another Lloyd rocket. Well, yeah, Villager kind of is just doing the same things over and over again, and they're working. Lands with down air into a Lloyd rocket, even though Corrin already died. And then Corrin forward smashes Villager, and now the cycle is going to repeat itself. I guess Animal Crossing, I guess we can go back to E3 again, but Animal Crossing is the game that hasn't been brought up since November, or was that even November whenever the Isabel reveal happened? I think that might have been September. But yeah, it's been a while since Animal Crossing was mentioned as existing, so maybe we can get a confirmation that it's either delayed or it's coming out pretty soon. A lot of games are coming out 2020 for some reason. At least at the Microsoft E3. Like 90% of the games there were either coming out late this year or in 2020. But they were all premiering on Xbox Live Game Pass. So that was something that we needed to know. I mean, I guess that I kind of can understand why they want to push for Game Pass, but the games that were on it whenever I first started weren't that great, and so then I just haven't came back since. Like, whenever I did the free trial, the, like, good games on there were, like, I guess the Master Chief Collection was on there, but I also have, like, 2 gigabytes of storage on my Xbox, so couldn't get that. Yeah, I would say that was pretty much it. Like, there weren't too many solid games, or at least ones that I knew that were going to be pretty solid. There were a few, though. Like, I did get to play Terraria without having to use the disc, which was kind of nice. So I could keep another game in the console. There were a few Xbox 360 games that were pretty good on there, but any of the Xbox One games were not that solid. Although they are adding Hollow Knight to it. So that is a pretty cool addition, at least in my opinion, because I have enjoyed Hollow Knight so far that I've played through it. But yeah, Villager can take another stock with up tilt. Gonna get neutral bead there by Corn. Tries to go for another neutral bead for some reason, rather than literally doing any other move. And any other move would have killed Villager, but yep, just gonna extend this game to the 5 minutes, I guess. Which, I mean, it's not that bad, but Villager's probably just gonna camp Corn out and then win. Even though Corn's currently winning, Villager kind of just wins the sudden deaths a lot. Villager is doing a pretty good job of zoning up close to Corn. But yeah, the neutral B is going to be enough to take Villager stock, though. So 14 seconds. Yeah, but it was a very long game. It's much longer to watch a really long game where it's 2 zoners than any other type. Oh wait, they're like mirrored, so you have Falco on the bottom there, and then he's making like a rising staircase, and then Zelda's making like a lower staircase, and then you have Snake starting at the top and Corn starting at the bottom on the other side. That's kind of interesting.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's not mirrored on like the left side. It's pretty much the same touch as the right side. It's the top's pretty much the same as the bottom. Falco starting off with a pretty early lead here. The footstool could have changed that. Or a down air. But I'm not able to do that much damage to Falco. So far, it's definitely looking like Falco's a pretty strong contender for the finals. Yeah, up air. It's gonna be able to take the stock there. But yeah, I think that the main reason that a lot of games... Oh, actually Zelda took the stock, I just realized that. Even though Falco was pretty much winning for that entire thing. Zelda just takes the stock with up air. But yeah, I think the main reason that a lot of games or at least a lot of like pretty solid titles haven't been announced, is because a lot of developers, like the console developers, are making a lot of new consoles. So that's why I think Nintendo's gonna have a lot more good stuff to show. But I feel like there's a lot in the works currently at Microsoft and Sony and a lot of the other other developers that are making games for PlayStation and Xbox that are going to be for like Project Scarlet and the PS5. Because there was that one meeting, like I saw that there was like leaked gameplay footage of a meeting at like where they showed the PS5's processing speed, and you could just explore the world from Spider-Man without any loading screens at all, which was pretty impressive, although I didn't feel like the loading screens were that bad in that game. But I'm really hoping that with the Project Scarlet, and that's a stock, but I'm really hoping with the Project Scarlet that if they do Project Scarlet, I'm hoping that they make it where Xbox 360 games are backwards compatible, like all the stuff that's currently backwards compatible works on the Project Scarlet, because then I'll probably buy it. But if that doesn't happen, then I'm probably not going to get it, because I would love to play some of the games that I currently have on Xbox 360 that have massive amounts of loading screens in Xbox One, like Oblivion. I'd like to play them with Project Scarlet, because they shouldn't have nearly as long as loading screens. And I don't really understand why Oblivion has such long loading screens on Xbox One, but it does. And I have like the 1S, I don't have the 1X, so that could be a thing. Though I do have the PS4 Pro, so that could also be why I don't think Spider-Man has too bad of loading screens. And then God of War had like no loading screens at all whenever I played through it last year. Which I still don't understand. Like, there was a loading screen if you opened up the game, and then at certain parts there were loading screens. But if you were just exploring, then there were no loading screens at all. Well, that was always interesting whenever I played that. Yeah, Falco, not looking as solid as he did for the beginning of the match. I said that he was probably going to make it to finals, and I was maybe wrong, but nope, he just lands a back air and then makes me wrong and saying that I was wrong, and I was right, and I should have believed it myself. So yeah, Falco wins the game with a back air. Zelda died at 70% to back, or that was less than 70, because it knocked her up to 70. I guess Falco had rage. Yeah, now we've got Snake versus Corrin, some more zoners. There's just been a lot of zoners in this CPU tournament. Although this is going to be the last tournament that I do. Snake barely gonna make it backstage. Or I guess he's gonna have to blow himself up, but he doesn't do it fast enough. It's kind of interesting how the CPUs will actually blow themselves up to get back. And the other day, I saw a level 9 Joker taunt, and that was the first CPU I've ever seen taunt. And you can tell whenever Joker taunts because Morgana shows up. And so, I saw Morgana on the field while I was playing, and I have the clip recorded, but I don't have it processed to where it's just a clip. I had the full video. So I can't really show it on stream, but I might show it tomorrow, just to show. But I've never seen CPUs taunt. I didn't think that they could, but it turns out they can. Even though I like Snake a lot in this game, and I would normally root for Snake, I'm kind of rooting for Corrin for this match. Even though I'm still unbiased, but it'd be kind of cool to see Corrin win. I think Corrin's pretty solid of a character. Like a pretty solid character, I mean. But definitely has a lot of flaws, but I mean, Corrin just has a ton of aerial combos for some reason that no one seems to talk about that much. But Corrin can kind of do like down tilt, fair into up air. And it could kill if you're playing on like Battlefield, it can kill, but if you're not playing on Battlefield, it still does a pretty decent amount of percent. Yeah, Corrin did have the C4 on him, so wasn't going to make it too much further, but back air is going to even out the game, so this game's much faster than the last two. In terms of getting all of these stocks taken, Snake's going to be at a decent disadvantage here, but can still make it back pretty easily with a few hits of his explosives. He's going to land the Nikita, even though I don't know why he's Nikitaing on stage, but I guess so he can do that. Set up for a back air. But yeah, Corrin, he read that Corrin was going to down air and then punish it with an up smash, and then not only had enough time to plant the C4, but also had enough time to move the Nikita over to Corrin, so that was actually pretty impressive. But yeah, now we're on finals, finally, I guess. The last CPU tournament took under an hour, and this one's like at an hour and 56 minutes of total stream time, so this one's taken about an hour, but that's not that bad, considering that 3 games went to sudden death. Yeah, we're going to be at Final Destination for this final game, which is good because that means that games are going to be much faster. And we also get the Brawl Final Destination music, so it makes it better. It's going to be Snake versus Falco. Falco almost getting a pretty early stock here with that down air, but instead chooses to nair for some reason, even though down air almost worked. Snake blows himself up with a grenade, so Falco still has a pretty decent lead. Barely gets hit by that C4, so Snake does get the lead out of that. Though it's only by about 1%, so Falco takes it back. It looks like Snake's going to recover high that time. They're kind of just trading the lead. Although it seems like Snake's got a pretty decent lead, although Falco just back airs him, so he trades it. It looks like Snake's going to take the stock there, so that's why I wasn't really commentating that much, because I'd just be commentating what they were doing, which is basically just spamming their projectiles at each other. Although Falco's playing a lot more aggressive than Snake is. But Snake's getting a lot more setups working. Because Falco's playing aggressive. Back air is going to come out from Snake. Or I mean, yeah, from Snake actually, whenever I said that. But yeah, Falco tries to edge guard with down smash, but Snake did blow himself back up. So he is going to be able to recover. And they're both trading the ledge here. Snake does get a down throw, and then tries to trap Falco into the C4, but then Falco forward smashes Snake after avoiding the C4. Snake needs to take this stock pretty quickly to be able to even up the game. And blowing himself up with that grenade's not really going to help him out that much, even though it was unintentional. Yeah, gets the up air and then the grenade explodes Falco, so that was definitely a pretty easy kill for Snake. But Snake's at 61 this stock compared to Falco at 70, or 7.5. I was going to say like 7 and 5, but I guess it's just 7.5. Yeah, Snake does have C4 planted over there, so Falco is going to be hit by it and then into a down tilt as well. C4 planted in the middle again. Catches the grenade and then tries to throw it back at Snake, but misses. Lands directly on the C4, but Snake's not exploding it. Does explode at that time, though. Plants it towards the middle again. Tries to get the C4 there, but wasn't enough. Definitely would have helped him out a lot, but he's going to blow himself back up, and he does take the hit, so he does make it back. Gonna go for a double downer. They both spot dodge simultaneously, so Snake down smashes, which is one of his fastest. I believe that is actually his fastest smash attack. So in terms of like getting a hitbox out there, so definitely a pretty good option. And then he dash attacks Falco and does take the game. So that's going to be the tournament, and so Snake is going to be the winner of it. Pretty long game for the last one, but definitely could have been a lot longer. So, yeah, it's going to be it for the CPU tournament. I would do another one maybe if I had time, but that'd be like another hour, so I definitely don't have enough time for a full hour. I probably have like 30 minutes or something, but don't really have enough time for as long of a stream as I want to be able to stream, so I'm just going to go ahead and end this one here. Take a break. I might stream later, like I could stream after the Square Enix E3 if anything happens there, but I don't know yet, so I'm just going to end this one here, and I guess I will see everyone in the next one.